Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. I did the video yesterday afternoon, a sort of flash video up while I was out walking the dog, about the story of the Scottish Labour Party and its seeming avoidance of the Union flag, and how this was highlighted by, of all people, Alex Salmond. Previously, the UK Labour Party has been draping itself in the flag, showing its patriotism and trying to appeal, I think somewhat perhaps cynically, to the patriotic people of Britain. And showing, look, we care, we're not ashamed and whatever. Because of late, of course, the Union flag has been rather shameful to the left-wing parties for some reason. They seem ashamed of the great things that the United Kingdom has achieved over the years. Sure, it's done some terrible stuff, but it's also done some great stuff, and nothing, I think, that we need to be ashamed of. But for some reason, Scottish Labour seems to want to distance itself from this very flag. And that distancing, like I say, was highlighted by, of all people, Alex Salmond, a man who has a somewhat different view, shall we say, on nationalism than the Scottish Labour Party apparently do. But we'll take a look at this story to see why they've distanced themselves and what the sort of repercussions might be. Here goes. So, Scottish Labour embroiled in Union flag row as the party is accused of being ashamed of the ensign. The Labour Party have attacked Anas Sarwar's party for failing to display the flag for the UK in its party political broadcast, which aired on Wednesday night. Of course, I did that as I was walking the dog yesterday and over the fields, and it was something I found very odd. I like to sort of all the people who could possibly have highlighted the fact and bemoaned even the fact that there wasn't a Union flag, for it to have been Alba is very, very weird. But Scottish Labour have become embroiled in a row about its lack of use of the Union flag following its party political broadcast, which aired on Wednesday night. The 5-minute video featured leaders Anas Sarwar and Sir Keir Starmer talking to voters about why they will choose to vote for them at the next election. Whenever that'll be, probably October. However, the Labour Party have contrasted the broadcasts of both the UK and the Scottish branches of the party, and claimed that it shows that north of the border, the left-wingers are ashamed of the utilising the Union flag, whereas south, of course, they're not. Keir Starmer's basically rolling around and wearing it almost, as though he was trying to appeal to what we could only call Middle England. He wants to pull the Conservative vote, and he's likely to get a lot of them. But I think it's a rather cynical attempt when you see them use it after years of somehow being ashamed of it. But at least have accepted that it's a very important thing to a lot of people. But for some reason, Anas Sarwar doesn't like the Union flag. It must have been a conscious choice not to utilise it. Somebody said, no, don't do it up. And we have to ask why. Now, I'm going to presume it's because he wants to appeal to SNP voters. And he said if he starts draping himself in the flag, it may alienate them. So I understand that. On the other hand, Labour is ostensibly a unionist party. So it seems very weird. According to the Nationalist, in the UK Labour Party broadcast, the flag featured 37 times, with Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves flanked by them on several clips, as well as shots of the banner flying on public buildings. However, in the Scottish version, the flag did not feature once. And instead, Mr Sarwar's video focused more on dissatisfied Scottish voters, with one woman being brutally honest about the UK COVID inquiry evidence given by Nicola Sturgeon and Humza Yousaf, and we all are. There was an awful lot of BS in the middle of that. Lies, perjury, destruction of evidence, we all know, so I've covered that. Anyway, she said, the mood when I sat in my kitchen in February 22-23 and cried when Partygate in Westminster was going on. I felt exactly the same way listening to the First Minister's evidence. Now, First Ministers and evidence, and that should, when you listen, they should be solid and trustworthy. And if he's a true leader, which he's not. He said, as for the tears that we watched when the former minister cried, that was patronising and demeaning to bereaved families. But it was the lack of the Union flags in the broadcast which upset the Alba Party, who claimed that they are obviously too embarrassed to feature it. General Secretary Chris McElhenney said it seems that down south, the Labour Party are desperate to appear as British as possible, with their party broadcast being defeated only by a night at the BBC Proms for the amount of Union Jacks in sight. Whereas in Scotland, he said, Anas Sarwar is obviously too embarrassed to have the Union flag associated with his party. Labour are in for a shock if they think the people of Scotland are ready to go back to vote for them just because they put the Union flag out of sight. Why is Labour so embarrassed by the flag? This is a very important question. Why? I mean, the UK Labour Party down in the broadcast in England and Wales. Oh no, flags everywhere because, jolly ho, we're British as you can come. North of the border, not one. They're ashamed of it. Scared of it, more like. Anyway, Scottish Labour, he said, are offering Scotland nothing, and they do not even try to hide that they are opposed to our right of self-determination. People in Scotland might not remember what the Labour Party stand for, but they certainly remember they stood beside the Tories to ensure Scotland had another decade of Westminster Tory government imposed upon us, blah, 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 and a bit of politicking. Don't care. However, the Alba Party are yet to win a seat at any election in Scotland since being founded ahead of the 2021 Holyrood elections. Alex Salmond's party is set to contest a number of constituencies at the general election, although they were snubbed by the SNP over a Scotland United offer. Scottish Labour has been approached for a comment, but comment came there none. What are they going to say? But there they are. Oh, look at us. We're as British as you can possibly be. Yeah, truly are. He's a bit of a slime ball, really, Starmer. But the only good thing is he won't be in charge for long. They're expected to win the election. He will become Prime Minister, and within weeks there will be a coup d'etat, and Angela Rayner will take over and become the Prime Minister. And then you'll have a hard left Labour government. They're only using Sir Keir, of course, because he's seen as a moderate, and therefore he's not an extremist. And that's what's going to appeal, and that's why Labour will get in. But once they're in, he's gone. Anyway, you can put as many flags up as you like. I won't be voting for them. Coming up. It was Oscar Wilde who said, patriotism is the last refuge of a scoundrel. And for Labour in the UK Labour Party that is, to start draping flags everywhere goes to show that they are truly scoundrels. But you have to ask, if not one at all is seen, on Scottish Labour, are they even considering themselves as being a British party? Seems odd. Seems weird. You have to ask Anas Sarwar why he's so ashamed of the Union Jack. What flag would he prefer to fly? Something green, perhaps. Anyway, I should stop there. Thank you very much for watching. Do please hit that subscribe button. Do please ring that bell and like the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and I'll speak to you later.